What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid-taper on my client, so stay tuned. We're gonna be starting off by debulking the top with the foreguard all the way open and making sure everything's nice and even. Now that we're done debulking the top, we could go ahead and move on to our Go to FX and create our first guideline. You want to make sure not to press too hard with your trimmers here, because then you can make a harsh guideline that's going to be hard to take out in the future. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You want to make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. Now that we're done setting in that guideline, we could then close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline with our no guard all the way open and closed, we could then move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and its lever to soften up this line and get ready for the half guard. Now that the line is soft enough, I'm moving on to my half guard and I'm going to use the corner and its lever to erase the line completely. This is going to bridge the gap between the half guard and the 1.5 guard. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave an Instagram follow down below. Now we're moving on to our 2 guard all the way open and we're going to create our 4th guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and its lever to soften up this line and get ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done using the lever to soften up the line with the 2 guard, we could then move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Sometimes after using the 1.5 guard, there's still a faint line, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open and using its corners would definitely help. Now that we're done with our lower guards, I'm moving on to my 3 guard all the way open and I'm gonna make sure I remove all the dark spots. Here I'm using my 2 guard all the way open and its corners to detail and remove any dark spots that I see. Now that we're done detailing the back taper, we could then move on to our Goat FX and line up the back of the neck. You want to make sure you use the corners of the blade, and you make sure you go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer. Now that we're done lining them up, we could then move on to our no guard all the way open, creating our second guideline on the side taper. You want to make this guideline in a round shape so you can burst the taper. Now that we're done blending out our initial guideline using the lever, we could then move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. Remember, we're going to use the same guard and the lever to soften up this line to get ready for the half guard. Now that we're done with our lower guards, we could then move on to our two guard all the way open, creating our fourth guideline. Remember, we're going to use this same guard and its lever to soften up this line and get ready for the 1.5 guard. As you guys can see here, I'm then moving on to my 1.5 guard using its corners and its lever to erase the line completely. Again, sometimes there's still a faint line after using your 1.5 guard, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open would definitely help. Now we're using our 3 guard all the way open to finish the connection to the top. Now that we're done detailing, we're then going to move on to our 1.5 guard all the way open and chop the beard down. A 1.5 guard all the way open is equivalent to a 2 guard all the way closed. Here, as you guys can see, we're moving on to our Goat FX and we're going to line up the back of the beard. We're also making sure that we go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then the hair is going to shift and then you won't line them up properly. Here we're going to start off the blending of the sideburn with the no guard all the way open. We're then going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way closed and attack that initial guideline. Now that we're done with our no guard all the way closed, we can then move on to our 1 guard all the way open and exactly use the lever the same way we did the first time. Now that the line is soft enough, we're moving on to our half guard, and this is going to help us erase the line completely. As you guys can see, I'm using my Goat FX to line up the other side of the back of the neck, and I'm also going slow as possible, making sure that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer. I feel like that's the most important rule when lining up. Now that we're done lining up the other side, we can then move on to this front line. I use my Gold FX to always line up my front lines just because I feel like they're a perfect balance between power and crispiness. As you guys can see, I'm going slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer. It's a very important part, especially when the hair is very light. We're keeping his vertical bars as natural as possible as well, but we also don't want to sacrifice too much crispiness because he does want a crispy lining. Now we're moving on to the C-cup, and I always like starting off at the bottom and working my way to the top arch using the corners of the blade. Now that we're done detailing and finishing up the beard, we could then move on to our Turkish razor and Derby premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. But before we do that, we're going to apply some shave gel so that the blade can glide better. When using the razor on the neck, you want to stretch the skin as much as possible and keep that razor at a certain angle so you don't cut them. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave an Instagram follow down below. I'm also trying my best to keep his eyebrows as natural as possible. I'm also combing the long hairs out of the way and cutting them with the blade. What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing you guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid-fade mullet on one of my clients, so stay tuned. We're gonna be starting off by saturating the hair and combing everything in place, making sure we have a nice and neat canvas. Now that we're done combing everything in place, we can then move on to our Go to FX and create our first guideline. We're also gonna make sure we contour this guideline to the head shape so that the fade can flow better. When I'm creating my first guideline for the mullets, I always start off low so I have enough space to blend. Now that we're done budding them out with our trimmers, we could then move on to our foil shavers so we can remove the stubble. Now that we're done removing the stubble, we could then move on to our clippers and use our no guard all the way open, creating our second guideline. You always want to make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. Once you're done setting in that guideline, you could then slightly close the lever midway and all the way closed and attack that initial guideline. This is going to help you start off the fade and also blend into the one guard all the way open. Don't be afraid to use your opposite hand to stretch the skin to give you more space to blend. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave a follow on the Instagram down below. Now that we're done blending out our initial guideline, we can move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. You then want to use this same guard and its lever to soften up this line and get ready for the half guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the one guard, we can move on to our half guard and erase the line completely. Make sure to use your lever and its corners to do so. Now that we're done with our lower guards, we can move on to our two guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. As you guys can see, I'm flicking out with my clipper and I'm feeding the hair into the clipper using my comb. We're also going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up this guideline and get ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that the line is soft enough, I'm moving on to my 1.5 guard and I'm going to use the corners and its lever to erase the line completely. Sometimes there's still a faint line after using your 1.5 guard, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open and using his corners would definitely help. You always want to make sure you detail as much as possible with your 1 guard and your 1.5 guard. Now that we're done detailing with the lower guards, we can move on to our 3 guard all the way open and go right above the 2 guard all the way open. We're also using our comb to feed the hair into the clipper when needed. We want to leave a decent amount of bulk, so we're going to use our clipper over comb method to debulk just a little bit, enough that it connects it to the sides, but also leaves enough so that the curls can blend. When using the clipper over comb method, you always want to make sure you keep your comb at a certain degree so that the blend is consistent. Moving on to our 4 guard all the way open, we're going to use the comb to feed the hair into the clipper, and we're flicking out as much as possible to leave as much bulk as possible. Now that we have a good silhouette, we could then move on to our thinning shears and begin to debulk the bulk. There are hairs that are connected to the top that I don't want to cut at all, so I'm making sure I'm separating the top from the sides so I can only debulk the side part. I'm making sure that the back mullet blends into the side fade as smooth as possible, making sure that there's no disconnected parts of the bulk. Now that we're done thinning out the sides, we could then move on to our Gold FX and begin to line up his C-cup. I always start off at the bottom, working my way to the top arch using the corners of the blade. I also want to make sure I'm as delicate as possible, just so I don't mark them with the teeth of the trimmer. I'm going back to the fade and I'm detailing as much as possible with my no guard and thinning shears. I didn't like how the C-cup was looking, so I went back to the C-cup and realigned it. Now we're moving on to the left side of the C-cup, and we're also starting off at the bottom and working our way to the top arch, staying as consistent as possible. I feel like the Gold FX is a perfect balance between power and sharpness. It's just right there, right in between. Now we're going to line up the back of the mullet, and we're starting off at the middle and working our way to the sides, staying as consistent as possible and making sure we comb the hair down when needed. Now that we're done with the mullet and putting all the hair up in place, we can then move on to the front line and use our Gold FX to make them as crispy as possible. I usually start off at the middle and work my way to the sides, and I'm also going as slow as possible, making sure that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer. Because if not, then the hair could shift and then you won't line them up properly. Also, you want to be careful not to take the corners too deep. It will give the haircut an awkward look. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave a follow on the Instagram down below. Now that we're done detailing, we can move on to our Turkish razor and Derby premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. But before we do that, we're going to apply some shave gel so that the blade can glide better.